Raise your hand if you love live music. Yeah, keep them up if you're a little drunk. Yeah. Hello, I'm Frank Podlehauer from Street Jelly. So StreetJelly.com is a video streaming website for musicians to broadcast themselves live anywhere, anytime, and they do it to make money from tips. So picture a street musician or a piano bar or open mic at a cafe. All these musicians have a tip jar. And we essentially recreate that over the internet with the tip jar. So here's a screenshot of the site. We are live. We're about a year and a half old. And the way it works is a musician just needs a webcam, a microphone, and an internet connection. This fellow here is actually in his backyard with Wi-Fi to his house. And he's performing live music. Now, it's kind of like TV. It's a one-way stream. We can see them, but the musician can't see us. But we can communicate with the musician through our chat system. So you can request songs from the musician, talk to them about his music, or send applause. And if you like them, you can send real money to the musician. You click on the tip button, and that money goes to the musician's account at Street Jelly. And at the end of the month, we pay him out through PayPal. Now, this musician here, this is Damien Trujillo from Sheridan, Wyoming. Population 18,000. So like most musicians, he struggles to get exposure to fans, find venues where he can perform at, and he wants to make money from his music. So now on Street Jelly, Damien can reach fans all over the world, and he can perform from his house, or in this case, in the backyard by the creek. Damien has access to tens of thousands of viewers already on Street Jelly, and their story is just as interesting. On the site, since we started, there's been a huge community of die-hard fans of all things jelly on Street Jelly. Because you can interact on the site, the viewers and the musicians have become friends on the site, and they also communicate with each other on social media and their own platforms. And for those who live in the same city, they actually get together and have Street Jelly meetups and music jams. Now, they call themselves jellyfish, and that's a word they came up with. They call themselves that. It's part of the lingo on Street Jelly. And there's a bunch of words on it. I'll give you a few examples. Jellyfire. Jellyfire is a compliment to a musician. That means you're just playing awesome. You're just doing great. The screenshot here, that's Summer Russell from California. She's playing Led Zeppelin on the harp. I mean, it was amazing. She was just going, well, she was on Jellyfire. Another word is the green wall. Musicians love the green wall. When you send a tip to a musician, a little green message goes through the chat window. And when a whole chat window fills up green, it's a green wall. And the musicians just, they know they're making a ton of tips. The best description of this community was from one of our musicians out of Nashville. Lana wrote on Facebook a couple months ago. She said, "I love Street Jelly so much. It's not just a website. It's a community of wonderful, talented people. I've made many Huckleberry friends," smiley face. "I can't imagine my life without it," little heart symbol. So imagine, I know, imagine having somebody who can't live without your website. So what does this community mean? Well, these folks are permanent, loyal, paying customers on Street Jelly. A single jellyfish spends on average $100 a year on the website. Now, we launched in the fall of 2012, and within the first few days, we started making revenue selling these tokens. Tokens is how we tip the musicians. By the end of 2012, we had 6,000 visitors to the site. They purchased 8,500 tokens, and when someone tips during a show, that show, on average, produces $6 in revenue for Street Jelly. We had about 400 shows back in 2012. By the end of 2013, we sold over 100,000 tokens, and we increased our revenue to $7 per show. And that's because there's more people on the site, there's more people watching each show and tipping more. To date, we sold over 250,000 tokens. Yeah! That's $50,000 in revenue, and we nearly doubled our revenue per show, and we've had over 7,000 shows produce revenue. We are also cash flow positive for our operations, meaning we make enough money to pay for our musicians for the tips and to pay for the servers and keep the site running. So, cash flow positive, applause, yeah! So the service of Street Jelly is actually moving money from the fans to the artist. And we do this through a virtual currency system we call tokens. You purchase tokens on the site with your credit card. You go through our shopping cart. There's no shipping or anything. It's just credits to your account. The price of a token is between 20 and 32 cents. The price varies depending on how many you buy. You can't just buy one. We make you buy in bulk. So the average price comes out to 22 cents. Our cost, that's the tip to the musician, that's 16 cents. Now, let me tell you a little bit about tipping in this group fun music environment because it's kind of addicting. They call it token crack on the site, and that's one of those jelly words. But it really is because you're in this group environment and there's peer pressure. If you're hanging out and you're chatting and there's people tipping, you kind of got a tip, and especially if you request a song. And then there's this instant gratification. When you tip a musician, they will thank you, and sometimes they'll thank you in the middle of a song and maybe even sing out your name. Then there's that number of 16 cents for the tokens. Well, we chose that number because it's actually really hard to do math in your head by 16s. So you're disconnected from any kind of purchase decisions at that point, and you're just having fun, throwing tokens around and just enjoying the music. So we are in a large consumer market, B2C. Live music entertainment is a $7 billion a year industry. And we've identified a 3% group of stay-at-home rockers. These are folks that will pay for live music, but they don't really want to go out to the bars and the nightclubs and that whole scene. I'm one of them. So that gives us a $200 million a year attainable market size. We target independent musicians. These are your singer-songwriters, your music teachers, professionals. This picture here, that's Randy Mason from Nashville. He is a professional musician at the Grand Ole Opry, and he's one of our 1,500 musicians already on Street Jelly. Now, what's really cool about having the musicians' goal of getting more fans and making more money from tips is that they're helping us with our customer acquisition. Our top 5 musicians alone have a reach into 80,000 friends and likes into Facebook, and that's really hard to do for any individual. So their reach into social media now becomes our reach into social media. We're not alone, certainly. There are other video streaming websites out there, but Street Jelly's niche is a music-only website where we pay musicians, and also we cater to that grassroots movement of people who pay and support for independent musicians and supporting up-and-coming artists, and of course, the love of live music and their addiction to token crack. I am the founder of Street Jelly. I also built the software. I have 20 years experience as a software architect and consultant. I've also been part of startups since the late 1990s in the first dot-com era. Martina is our finance person. She has a background in international banking. She speaks multiple languages. And we do, every month now, send payments to musicians all over the world in a number of countries. Our advisors are Mag Bartine, Michael Carroll, and David Morehouse. And those one-word titles up there does not do them justice. They have a combined 70 years experience of creating businesses, managing businesses, and exiting and selling businesses. Now, based on our historic data and launching our mobile platform in the coming months, here's our 3-year projections. We'll have reached 4.5 million visitors to the site by the end of 2016. And what that means is we have a 25% conversion rate to active users. So we define an active user as somebody watching the streaming, they're interacting in the chat, and they're using the features of the site. We have a 3% conversion rate to paying customers. These are those jellyfish that will plop down $100 a year for tokens. By 2016, our revenue will be $5 million, and this will not just be coming from the tokens, but also our other revenue streams. Right now in 2014, we're already making thousands of dollars off of Google Ads and affiliate links. If we just take those numbers we get from the Google Ads, the click-through rates and the price per click, that already generates $1 million in revenue for all those eyeballs in 2016. We are seeking a $625,000 investment, and that is to pour gas in this fire. We'll use that investment to increase our customer base and to increase our other revenue streams. Street Jelly has a proven business model, and it has great traction. And our goal is to exit in 5 to 7 years with at least a $50 million valuation. And that's it. Please spread the jelly. Thank you very much.